about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That was great sounds of Watts with Outside on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with the one and only, the OG Bird himself, the supervillain to many, the superhero without, not a mask, superhero without a mask. I think it's pretty cool for him. I'll say the superhero to the ones that matter. The one and only, the professor. It's normally with three nerds, it's just two, easy as doing other obligations. But we're here to give you this whole nerd madness. This is not midlife crisis. This is our nerd therapy. We like to talk about pop culture. We like to talk about what's new, what's old, what makes us mad, what makes us not mad. We like to talk about things that could be a lot better, not just for us, but for everyone as a whole in pop culture lore. But I got to give a disclaimer. I want to start doing this in the beginning of each episode. If we all seen it, we will talk about it. Anything spoiler related, we will go. This is our only disclaimer of the show in the beginning of the episode. If we all three seen this, we will definitely talk about it. Okay, last episode, we talked about the Marvel lore. Now we're going to go more into a DC aspect of nature. Professor.
Yes.
Are you excited what's to come with DC? I'm going to go down with the whole list. We got Lanterns, the little adult-rated true detective type dual drama they got for Green Lantern. Yay, nay, yes, no, sorta. Your thoughts?
I'm still not a fan of the actor they had playing Jon Stewart. Never liked him in the before he became Jon Stewart.
Oh, so you're not an Aaron Pierre fan?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Not at
All
all.
right.
So I'm honestly hoping that he does a good job.
All right.
I'm just, again, because I'm not really a fan, and it has nothing to do with the whole he's light skinned and all that stuff that some people are talking about. Well, Jon Stewart is a darker skin. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just him as an actor. I just don't care for. So I'm really hoping that this is the role that will change my mind. I'm still up in the air whether or not I'm even going to watch it. But I do like the actor who's playing Hal Jordan, and I do kind of like that he seems like he's a little more serious than they've played him in the past.
All right.
On like some of the the cartoons and adaptions for different stories. So I'm hoping that works out. But I'm not really 100% like super excited for Lanterns. And I saw, like, again, I'm hoping that they change it. I saw what like one of Hal Jordan's like the uniform looked like. It just gave me the old Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern flashback, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible. So I don't know why, at one moment you think DC got it right, and then the next thing you know, they're like messing up royally. So we'll see what happens.
Clayface. Horror aspect film coming out this October.
I think that could be an interesting thing. I always thought Clayface was an interesting character, being a part of Batman's rogues gallery. But it's also making me feel like they're gonna do what they did with
Joker.
The Joker. Yeah. And I don't want that. He is a Batman rogue villain.
Yeah.
So let's get it there. Let's really get it there.
I wouldn't mind it for a one-off kind of thing.
Yeah. I take
wouldn't
it as a
mind
one-off.
that. If it's like a one-off kind of movie, I like the fact they're experimenting, trying something different. I think that's a really cool aspect to have and to do. You got to take a couple risks. Guardians of the Galaxy was a risk.
Oh, yeah.
The Joker having his own film was a risk, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That was a real big risk with no Batman. That's a risk. They made over $1 billion the first film. So, it's good
I think
to
that
take some
Penguin
risks.
joint. You remember the Penguin joint?
The Penguin series was a risk.
I think clips of it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. So, I had no desire to watch, the whole thing by any stretch of the
Right.
imagination. But, the clips I did see, I was like, all right, that's pretty impressive. But again,
Right.
I think by giving these particular characters their own
Hmm.
movies and everything, you're kind of taken away from their purpose. Like, why are they even a character? Why were they invented? Who do they belong? They belong to Batman and his
Hmm.
rogues gallery. So I don't know. I don't know.
Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Gonna have Lex Luthor in the armor suit, and we're gonna have Brainiac. Brainiac's
Hmm.
gonna be the villain. Your thoughts?
Hmm. Funny. I'm so anti DC. It's just it's a crime sometimes. It's terrible. Um, if they do the Lex Luthor armor the right
Yes, sir.
way,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd
Yes,
like to,
sir.
I'd like to see it. If
Hmm.
they do Brainiac the right way, I'd like to see it. I'm just not really impressed with like that Superman movie. I can't take it back now. I liked it. I did.
Okay,
Um,
that's fair.
Supergirl I'll never watch. Y'all can't even pay me to go see that one.
It's
Um,
getting so, it got so reviews.
yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly I think DC is doing too much. They really really
Um,
tried. They really tried to keep up with Marvel and the MCU and everything and but you
I
you saw the misstep when they rushed the Justice League trying to catch up with the Avengers and Endgame and all that crap.
I don't think it was
No.
a rush. I don't think it was a
Oh, it was
rush.
super rushed.
I
There was
don't think
zero character development of all the characters.
I don't think it was
Um
a rush. I liked the character development in the first film. I liked Green Lantern, getting to know him. He was funny. I don't think he's gonna be in the league. I think they're gonna get, obviously they're gonna get Aaron Pierre. But I feel Hawk Girl was good character development. Mr. Terrific was incredible
no, I,
character
I was
development.
talking about the Jane
Oh,
the original.
the original with
Yeah, the original one, the original DCU thing.
gotcha
Yeah,
with
no,
Ben
that
Affleck
that
and all
one's
that. All
right,
right,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
that one
okay,
was a rush. They had this
gotcha.
real good opportunity with Affleck to play out the whole Batman detective thing
Oh
because he
yeah,
had the acting chops. He was a
hands
perfect
down,
Bruce Wayne to me, and he
hands
was a
down.
great Batman. So they had a
Yeah,
real good opportunity, but they fumbled that. And then this whole new DCU thing. I'm I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling any of it. I'm really not. I'm really
right.
not. You got a
And it,
classic character like Guy Gardner, who I hated in the comic books, but they wrote him so well. You
you
were
wrote him
supposed to.
well. You're
You were
supposed to hate him.
supposed to. And because I like Nathan Fillion so much, I can't find it in me to
To
not
hate him,
to hate.
yeah.
I can't.
To hate him. He's a pretty. He's a mean guy. He's a bully. And you
Right.
know
And
that,
I
yeah.
I I don't believe it. I don't believe
Hmm.
it. You got a great actor to play him. Wrong choice, but I can't yeah, I no. No.
I'm still in the perspective of we'll see because I think they're just trying to shape up what they have right now for universe because it's a new team running it.
Mm,
It's not the old team's not running it no more. It's a new team running it and they're trying to fix the mistakes what happened in the last one.
yeah, yeah.
And mind you, they had those terrible movies before. Like they had the Flash movie before, which was horrendous.
Oh,
And
oh.
then they had the controversy within the main actor who played the Flash, which was bad
Mm-hmm.
press for them. And
Mm-hmm.
then they are in the transition of having all these actors from before and then contracts. So
Yeah,
it's really hard to get a good jump start of where they really want to go. And plus, they have a standalone film outside their universe of Robert Pattinson. And then
right.
that's coming out very soon. That's the next topic I want to go for this whole DC thing is the Robert Pattinson Batman. That sequel's coming out in 2028.
Mm.
And
I haven't seen the first one.
right.
I think I'm gonna watch it today.
First one's good.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it
First one's
today.
it's long but really good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch it today and
Hmm.
because I don't want to speak negatively because I just don't like him.
Right.
So I don't want to speak negatively about it because
Hmm.
I want to see what he does.
Yeah, of course.
And I know this is crazy. I really wanted him for Owen Reese, the Molecule Man. I really wanted him for that character
It
because I
may
think
not
he
be
would have
too
shaped
late.
him. It may not be.
It
It
may
may
not
not
be
be.
too late. There's a lot of stuff they're not telling us, Marvel. So it
Right,
may
right,
not
right.
be too late what's coming in store.
Like I was talking the last episode, I really
Hmm.
think that they're hiding stuff, and I like that they're hiding stuff.
They should.
But with
Absolutely should.
with this particular thing, um, there's so much going on, and it does tie into the DC stuff. Actually,
Hmm.
I do like where these studios are. They're actually looking at the actual authors of certain storylines, and
Hmm.
they're actually using their works, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
I
Hands
think
down.
that that's a better that makes a better movie. Pay these writers that wrote these stories. If you're going to adapt them, fine, but pay the writers. And I think that they're taking that under advisement and they're making it because the even the Supergirl movie was adapted from a story from Supergirl
Hmm.
and from the Supergirl comic, and I like that. The Man of Tomorrow thing is another thing from DC, the comics, and I like that. I really dig it. So I'm hoping that DC kind of does better with some of their properties. Let's
I
get a
think they
better
are.
Flash. Get a better Flash.
I think they're gonna get I think they're gonna get a better Flash. I really think a Justice League is not in this new era of
Mm-mm.
DC's vision. I think they're going with the world's finest, the big three, Wonder
Right.
Woman, Batman, and Superman. I think that's their best bet to jump start off this whole thing,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Right.
That's where they really should go. They should go the big three, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. It kind of pains me a little bit because you got three of the biggest superheroes out there. It should be very hard for you to fumble something,
Right.
in
But
my
you
opinion.
see what it's starting to look like though, right?
Hmm.
It's starting to look very much like they're going into you remember the Justice League Unlimited
Yeah,
show?
of
It
course.
looks like they're kind of putting that lineup together
Hmm.
with the characters.
And that was a good
And
show.
it was a great show.
Great show.
So if they go in that direction, then I'd be with it. I'd be
Yeah.
with it. The whole Martian Manhunter thing, because they mentioned Manhunters in one of the trailers for
Hmm.
Lanterns. I can kind of see them going in that direction and putting that lineup together. If they did that, if they did that, that would be dope. I would dig that. Um, so I'm hoping that that's where because all that leads to dark side, the right dark side.
Hmm.
All of that leads to that. So I'm hoping that that is going to be because dark side again. It's not Luther. It's not Brainiac. Darkseid is their Thanos. You know, he's their huge threat. Trigun, is a Raven's demon father, right? He's a massive threat. But that also gives you that Justice League Dark thing. So you have that going on. They just have to give us another Constantine to and a Zatara and Zatanna. So I'm thinking that they can go in some really really good directions with this, and then again start, in my opinion, start introducing characters that are not so known by the world at large, like the Question. He
Question
would
will be
be great.
awesome.
Yeah,
Question
he
will
would
be
be
awesome.
great. He would be great. So
Yeah. My thing is I feel just the way things are going, I don't think the merger is going to happen. I don't think the merger is going to happen. Just the way things are going, it's not getting approved with Paramount and stuff. And Warner Brothers is making a lot of money with the recent hits they got.
hmm
I feel find some type of way to talk to the family of the creator of Static Shock so you can get back in business.
oh
I feel it's the time. I feel it can be a standalone thing because Static Shock has enough villains for it. I feel it can be their answer to a Miles Morales instantly.
Do you know how
Instantly.
important that would, especially if they put him out
Yeah.
before they put out Miles Morales? Do
Hmm.
you know how important that would be to
Oh,
DC universe?
incredible.
Yes, it would be
Incredible.
incredible. They,
Incredible. It doesn't have to be connected to anything. You can
No,
highlight
no.
some stuff,
Right.
but it doesn't have to be
But
connected to anything. No.
But what really cool is if they again if they follow some of the storylines,
Hmm.
it also leads you to a future Justice League where he eventually becomes a member of the Justice League,
Oh yeah.
Him,
Hands down,
Batman
yeah.
Beyond, Green Lantern and Shira Hall's son. I forgot what
Hmm.
his name was. But you have the other green, the Buddhist Green Lantern, but you have all these great characters that are in the future that I can really, really see Static Shock being a part of.
Oh yeah, hands down.
But
Hands down.
playing it, that would be dope if they did that.
That should
Yeah.
be their answer. That'll be their Tom Holland.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Get a
absolutely.
young guy to
Absolutely.
do, get a young kid, a
Mm-hmm.
young kid to do it. I say about 15 the max,
Mm-hmm.
15, 16. Groom up last year of high school, have that with the film and just explore him being an adult and adapted to his
Mm-hmm.
powers, him old school, not having really help from anybody, doing it himself, being a genius. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
their solution to a Tom Holland. That could be their
Because
alternative.
you know what? It'll
Yeah.
make up for them fumbling
Hmm.
Black Lightning.
Oh yeah,
Whereas I thought that TV show was dope. I
it
thought they did a
was.
really good job with it.
Hands down was dope.
They cannot put a Black Lightning on the big screen because they'll mess it up.
Right.
They'll mess it up. But a Static Shock character, again, being like in the same universe but kind of separate, doing his
That's what
own thing, being
it's
street level,
perfect. It's perfect. Street level.
yeah,
You
that'll be great.
you get some interconnections with Gotham and
Yeah,
Metropolis and just
yes,
some stuff in
yes.
the, you know what I mean? So it can still be within that universe, but not connect to the main story they're
Right,
trying to
right,
tell,
right, right.
you know?
So
And
I
they
think
can
it'll be
do
great.
highlights from like their main feature stuff they want people, you know what I mean? So like have it be still in the same universe, but keep the
Mm-hmm.
stories separate. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's basically what the real world is. Everyone's still living in the real world, but everybody has separate stories they're building
Right,
themselves.
right.
So you can definitely do it. It can be done,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. So hopefully they'll figure that out.
Hmm.
I would really like them to put together a Titans team though.
A Titans team will be cool.
I
A
think it
team,
would be great. I
I
think it would be
think
really,
it's
really
the
great.
perfect time to do Teen Titans. If you really want
Yeah.
to do Teen Titans, it's a perfect time to do that.
And don't rush Cyborg to it. Let Cyborg be
Oh
a
yeah,
Teen Titan like he was, right?
let Cyborg come to them. I
Yeah.
do agree with that.
Yeah.
Start
Let him
off with
do that.
Robin,
Right,
Starfire,
right,
Beast Boy,
right.
get that whole like collective like put together and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're introducing the world to an already established Bat family.
Right,
You
right.
really don't need Robin too much.
Nope. Nope.
Take advantage of the young generation. Take advantage of the kids. Get some Static Shock in there. Get some Teen Titans out there.
That would be
Think
so dope.
Santana will be really good for
Oh
them
my
if they
gosh,
really
he would
want to
be
just
amazing.
just explore it. There's numerous avenues in there. And
Mm-hmm.
who's that? There's this hero. I think Bumblebee's her name. I
Yeah, yeah.
forgot. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
put her in that too.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think Vixen. She's like the African. I mean, so much stuff they can do over there.
And
Really utilize the young generation with the teams that they got.
look, being honest about what's happening with
Hmm.
the black characters in Marvel,
Oh
like the
yeah,
TV shows and stuff, like they just
yeah.
cancel they cancel the Armor
Answer
Wars
Wonder
movie,
Man.
right? They cancel Wonder Man. They canceled the Ironheart series, which I thought was dope, and people are still crapping on it. Not happy about that.
It was good for the way it
Um,
was. For what it
it
was, it was
was,
good. It was good,
but
really good.
the canceling of those shows, which is frustrating to me. Like they didn't give Luke Cage another season, which his show was dope. But the canceling of, and I think that kind of fell within the whole Netflix and the whole
It
thing.
did.
That
It did. It was going to
I
have
got
another
that.
season, but
Right, right,
then the
right.
whole
Yeah, yeah.
merger,
It was just
yeah,
at a bad time. So I
bad
got that
time.
one. But I think that those particular characters
Mm,
had a real opportunity. So now that you've canceled their shows like that, now it's time to bring them to the big screen the right way and allow them to do what they do. And because here's the thing. That last Daredevil season was phenomenal.
mhm.
We got our Luke Cage back. We didn't get a really chance to see him do anything. We got our Jessica Jones back. We got the Punisher. We got Daredevil in full beauty. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you for not letting Finn Jones stink up the joint. Thank you, whoever did Marvel. Thank
You
you.
can tell he's coming back. You know he's coming back.
I'm
You
hope.
know he's coming back. Next season, they're gonna.
I don't want to wish nobody to have no accident, so they have to be
I don't think
recast.
it was the actor's fault. It was just like the crappy
It was his
writing,
fault.
right?
Nope, it was his fault.
You're blaming him.
It
You're
was,
blaming
yeah,
him.
because while he was posting comics covers and while he was like bragging that he was going to be the new Iron Fist, you could have been in the gym like everybody else. You could have been working with the stunt team, learning how to fight instead of 3 weeks before they film, want to take lessons. All right. Looking like a Boy Scout could beat you down. Knock it off. Like he had time. He had time to get it together and he didn't. So yes, I blame him.
Okay.
I
All
blame
right.
him.
That's
So
fair.
anyway, but I'm looking at DC with some promise. I'm looking at the idea that I think that James Gunn, thought, who I really wouldn't have chosen, I think that as one of the people kind of leading the new DCEU, I I think that he's doing a relatively decent job, but I don't think that he should be the only one that's running the show.
Okay.
Um, that's all.
You feel there should be some multiple heads under him, like
Yeah,
with creative direction. All right, that's
yeah. I
fair.
think
That's
other
fair.
people. I think other people should be, because there's a lot of phenomenal, directors and
Hmm.
producers and stuff that could really push the DC. Because here's the thing, we're in competition, but we're not in competition.
Yeah,
You
I
see what I'm
agree with
saying?
that. I agree with
We
that.
we really they really shouldn't be, because at this point it's a little too late to try to catch up.
No.
But it is a good place for you to put your own lane on
Hmm.
and run and walk your lane. That is a good thing, because again,
Yeah.
it was clearly they were trying to compete thing. And now you don't have to. You don't
No.
have to. You do have potential.
Yeah.
So
They
we'll
they
we'll see
should
what
have
happens.
worked hard on being a good number two. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with being a good number two on
Nothing at all.
WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven before I become a number two and just mess up the tag on time. But there's nothing wrong with being second place. Work hard at it because second place will eventually in the first place if the other company messes up.
Right.
you know
Right.
that way, I say if they work on their consistency and work on some like solid dates they can carry on their own, because
Hmm.
I say forget about May. That's Marvel. June can be your thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like these different things they can rearrange, but I think a good direction for them, like I said a little bit earlier in this broadcast, is focus on the young characters that you can build up, because there's
Right.
some great stories with the adult Teen Titans when they just become the Titans, which is really great and amazing.
There's another thing that I was a little
Hmm.
concerned about too with the Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Lobo years ago should have had his own movie.
I think Lobo should have had his own series, in my opinion. It would have been
Okay.
a nice comedy R-rated series for HBO.
Okay.
That would have been
Yep.
really
Yep.
cool. And
Yep.
then out of nowhere, you get a movie or you get him as like a villain to Superman for a movie.
Right. Right.
Lobo shouldn't have been in there with Supergirl
I
because
agree.
he wasn't in that comic. He wasn't in Woman of Tomorrow at
Mm-mm.
all. It
Mm-mm.
was it's I think they wanted to push Supergirl and push Lobo because the fans wanted it. And
Right.
then some stuff you just can't merge
Right.
at all.
Right.
For
Right.
example, Ant-Man and Kang the Conqueror shouldn't have happened.
No, I agree with that.
It
But
should have happened
but
one bit,
but in
Yeah.
their defense, they
Hmm.
had to they had to explain the quantum realm a little bit better, because they
I
fumbled
got you.
that. They
Yeah.
fumbled that. The whole Pym particle thing, like
Right.
again, for thinking about the comic books, that whole quantum realm thing wasn't even a thing. It was just him using Pym particles and yada yada yada. But because they opened up that can of worms, they had to now explain it.
Hmm.
And using Kang, I thought it was creative. It was stupid, but it was creative. And now you messed up an opportunity to make a character that was a legit threat to the Marvel universe. Now you introduce, because Loki and his direction in Loki, he was threatening because we saw him controlling the TVA and the timeline, right? In the,
Hmm.
the multiverse.
Hmm.
That was threatening by itself.
Hmm.
I think that they should have stayed on that path and built him up there. But throwing him as the big bad, throwing him in the bit and Ant-Man as the big bad there, that's where it all went south. So
Mm.
um less of him, and again, I will commend Feige on this. He was less of a threat in that movie, so you can't compare him to a real threat. And again, time is scary. Just thinking about being able to go back and forth in time and do stuff and collect stuff and gather power and do whatever and control something that's going to happen in the future. That's terrifying, right? If you played it like that, that would have been something that would have been worthy of an Avengers level attention, right? But the way they played it didn't really make it seem like it was going to be too much of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Did he feel threatening in Loki? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Then you dumb him down for that.
Oh yeah.
So changing to a bigger threat that is going to give you something that you can really be afraid of, right? Is a Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
So I commend them on doing that part.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are other things that they could have introduced. Annihilus and the Annihilation Wave.
That would have been cool. That would have been cool.
I'm hoping that's coming.
That would
Because
have been cool.
if that comes, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now you got the cosmic stuff fully blown up. And then now you have a reason to have the Fantastic Four down. Now you have a reason, right? So you got that whole thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it also gives them an opportunity to introduce characters that they need, like a better Ray Bill, like a Richard Rider Nova. But again, I just I'm just hoping things are leading where I think they're leading. This Doomsday slash Secret Wars thing is just the beginning.
Off syllabus topic. Off
Yes.
syllabus topic. Not biggest hot take of the MCU from start to finish. Your biggest hot take that people might disagree with you on. Go ahead.
I,
If you need some time to think about it, I'll give you mine.
yeah, please, please.
Okay, that's fine. They fumbled Captain America twice.
Oh.
They fumbled Captain America twice, and I'll give you why.
Okay.
Um, Winter Soldier to me was the best Captain America film.
Okay.
Best Captain America film was Winter Soldier. Everything else outside of that didn't feel like a Captain America film on its own.
Okay. I get
Red Red Skull shouldn't have got killed off. Well, he didn't get killed off, but he should have been utilized a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. He was the Loki to his Thor, hands down, in my opinion.
Okay.
I felt they could have introduced a lot more Captain America characters. I would love to see MODOK. I didn't like how they did Zemo. I thought that wasn't right. Um, I would have liked to see some stuff back in the day because I like to get a lot of his transitional trauma because he was frozen and then he got woken up in this whole brand new world. I would have loved to see some stuff with him, a little more adventures. Him with I forgot the gang he was with, that Gridiron gang he was with back in the 40s and 50s. That squad, that elite squad, I wish they would have like utilized that a little bit more.
Who? Captain America?
Captain America. It was that
Oh,
whole squad. He
the
was with
Howling
the
Commandos.
Howling
Yeah.
Commandos. I would
Yeah.
love to see that a little bit more, deal with like transitional trauma because it's hard dealing with that. They just went straight until him getting accustomed to the new world,
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
I really felt they could explore the other Captain Americas. I loved how they built Isaiah Bradley
Mm-hmm.
in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I felt Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. That would have been a cool concept. That would have been a dope thing to do. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think my computer agrees with my hot take, but I'm still going. Um, I feel, there's numerous avenues they could have done with Captain America. I felt I for the second Captain America, I don't have to go on and on and on about this. I think you agree with me. I felt Sam Wilson wasn't done justice at all.
Agreed.
But that's just me, and that's just you too.
Right.
Um, I really felt we could have got MODOK. MODOK would have been a cool villain for the MCU.
If they did them
But
right,
they did
absolutely.
him right with Captain America and AIM and the soldiers and
Mm-hmm.
him looking disgusting looking. They can do
Mm-hmm.
that. They can do
They
that for a
did. They
PG.
were dead wrong.
They can
Right.
do
They were
that
dead
for a
wrong for that.
PG-13 film. They
Yeah.
butchered them in Ant-Man. I don't even want to describe that for them. But
Right. Right. Right.
there's numerous stuff they could have done with the Captain America franchise.
Okay.
Um, Even him going in like the old castles and exploring that, we could have like explored into the 1940s a little bit more and the
I agree.
1950s a little bit
I
more,
agree. I agree.
with him and just like knowing that backdrop of Marvel. We could have him introducing the first Human Torch and talking to
Right.
him. You know what I mean?
Okay. That's where.
So
Yes.
much stuff that could have
Yes.
happened in that early days of Marvel.
I
Even
would
the
have loved
first
an
king of
invaders thing.
Wakanda. Yeah.
I
Could
would
have
have
been
loved a brief
that would have been
invaders thing.
cool.
That
You
would have been.
know.
Oh my God. That. Oh.
So much was in the Captain America lore they could have
Right.
discovered. Don't get me
Yep.
wrong, I understand why they had the jump start, but I feel if you're reintroducing villains and there's so much you could have gone with Captain America. I like Civil War. It's one of my favorite films, but I
Yeah.
felt that could have been an Avengers movie. That could have been your
It
answer
should
to
have been.
Ultron.
No, it should have been. It should have been an
That what
Avengers
to
movie.
me was an Avengers movie. That could have
Hmm.
been your Age of Ultron because Ultron should have been a threat.
So,
You know?
what
Yeah.
about that? I think that
Hmm.
they pulled the trigger and then realized they didn't want to do it. This whole Serpent Society thing, that should have been the third movie.
That would have been cool.
Right. Because
Serpent
they
Inside, it would have been really cool. Yeah.
a couple of times they were supposed to introduce that.
Hmm.
And they dropped the ball on it.
Hmm.
Instead, they chose to go in that direction. And it's like, and then they had to, that's kind of what struck up the deal with Civil War, to get Spider-Man, which was great.
Right.
But but I think that they did rush it. They really,
They
really did
rush it.
rush it. Um,
100%.
is it your dumb hot takes? Because
No, I'm done with my take. Go ahead,
I
Russ.
had an opportunity to think about this.
Yeah, of course.
So again, things in the MCU that I think that they could have worked on a little bit.
Hmm.
Thor,
Yeah,
Thor.
of course.
And I blame Taika Waititi.
I would love to see Enchantress.
Yeah,
I would love to see
exactly.
that.
They introduced her sister in Agents of
Hmm.
Shield. So why not? But anyway, I think that they introduced Scourge, the executioner. They come on, they got just bring her out. Anyway, I think that I think that they fumble Thor, and I blame Taika Waititi for this. And I get that, yeah, it was humorous and yay, whatever. Give him a little personality. That's fine. That's not Thor Odinson.
For one movie only. Just do it for one movie.
Yes, one movie. I
Yeah.
think they're going to try to give it to him for Doomsday. I think they're going to try to bring him to where he should be for
In a more
Doomsday.
serious
But
light. Yeah.
right, but Thor, by and large, throughout the MCU, has been a joke.
Hmm.
His Avengers Thor, even though there was a couple of jokey lines here and there, he was serious. He was a threat. He was a powerhouse, right? Um, the first movie, even though they were trying to figure out the character, whatever, he was a little more serious. I think that if they had played it that way, then I think that it would have worked out so much better for that character, because you ended up, because of the jokes and the nonsense, you end up fumbling a fantastic villain like Gore the God Butcher
Oh
for that Love and
yeah.
Thunder.
Talk about it. Talk
All
about
right.
it. Talk
They
about it. Yeah.
ruined a
Talk about it.
perfectly
Yeah.
good threatening character.
Talk
That
about it.
character was way
Absolutely.
more threatening than he was in that movie. He's way more threatening than that. Like, he literally had gods on the run because he was coming for them.
Hmm.
So to do him like they did him dirty, I really, really was not happy about that. Another weird hot take:
Hmm.
how they fumbled Shang-Chi.
Yeah. It made all that money.
Yes,
Great film.
where is
The
he?
director of Brand New Day was the director of
Yes,
Shang-Chi.
yes. Why? Where was he? He could have popped up in Brand New Day or something instead of Yelena Belova, who I love, but he could
Right.
have popped up because he has a direct connection to the hand.
Mm. That's
Okay?
true. That's
Yes.
true.
He has a direct connection to the
That
hand.
is very true. And
So,
it would have worked well.
right.
Spider-Man could have looked him up. Spider-Man's a
Yes.
good detective. Yeah,
There
you're right.
is there is no, oh, we have these
Hmm.
characters, these ninjas from the hand, and they're working with us. That is a lie. They do
Yeah.
not work with just anybody.
Hmm.
These are dark, dark characters
Of
that
course.
hide in shadows. They don't just be hanging around the what is the name of the organization? The damage control buildings,
Yeah.
hanging out in an office, drinking coffee, waiting for somebody to let them do their thing. That was a fumble. That was a
Hmm.
huge fumble, especially when you have a character in your midst like a Shang-Chi that is a direct connection to them.
It would work well with the contract too, because he's an Avenger. It
Yes.
would have went well with
And
that contract they got.
and if you didn't want to do
100%.
that, right? Elektra, she's still in the universe. She's
Electro would have
still in
been
the.
cool.
They could have, because she eventually became the leader of the hand,
Hmm.
right? Um, I know the Punisher later on in the comic books becomes the leader of the hand, but you have all these characters that you could have used that could have made those parts of the stories make a little more sense. Because I don't know about nobody else, as much as I loved Brand New Day, having the hand in it just didn't make any sense because there was
Mm.
no other connection to them other than, oh yeah, they're just randomly and they decide they're going to work for us and maybe. No, they don't. No, they don't. They just seem so out of place. And I got all excited thinking that they were going to show Daredevil or something
That would have made
in the
sense if
movie.
Daredevil was in it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Monica Rambeau, another character that they fumbled. Spectrum, Miss the original, she was Captain Marvel before Brie Larson's Captain Marvel in the comic
Hmm.
books. That particular character has not gotten the shine that she should have. She is a powerhouse. She is a powerhouse. Why not utilize that character? You have a character of that power set that would on the Avengers.
Hmm.
She man, listen, it just seems like they keep fumbling these characters that could not only help their lineup, but like, all right, so Hulk's, not really playing nice or whatever. You don't even have a real like great Avengers team. Bring She-Hulk back. She served on the Avengers. She served on the Fantastic Four. She's a great character.
I didn't
That
like the
joke that they
series.
did, right? They're because they didn't they comes because they fumbled her
I didn't
during
like
the
the
series, and I
series.
loved her, and I loved the whole fourth wall thing because in the comic
Yeah.
books, for those that don't know,
I
she did it before Deadpool
I
did it.
did not mind that. It's
Right?
just the
I didn't either.
direction. The villain was
Right,
trash.
right. They messed up that
The intel. What was that? The
having her
intelligentsia.
twerking with what you call it. Like
Megan Thee
they
Stallion didn't need
fumbled.
to be in it.
Right. They
And
they they fumbled it
what
so
was that
much.
group with Doom, the leader, and the intelligentsia, the intelli.
Oh, whatever that
Yeah,
is.
the
Yeah.
intelligent group that should have been
Right.
a threat because you got the leader, you got
Yes.
Doom, you got all these other iconic villains. Like it's their own version of the Illuminati, the evil
Right.
Illuminati, and they could
Right.
have like had that.
They had so many directions that they could have gone in.
Yeah,
They fumbled the Eternals by abandoning them after that movie.
Eternal should have been a series.
Yes. They
Should
could
have been a
have.
series.
This was a good opportunity
That would have been their
to
Loki.
introduce, yeah, the good opportunity
Yep.
to
Yeah.
introduce Dane Whitman, the Black Knight, because now
Mm.
you lost Kit Harington and you lost Mahershala Ali,
Yeah.
right? This was a great opportunity to introduce that character. Was he the greatest Avenger that I've ever seen? No, but he had a really interesting story that I think
Mm.
that they could have played out. Should he have gotten a full movie? Absolutely not. Should he have been a part of one of the Avengers movies and they played out that part? Sure, because they also would have given you an opportunity to introduce more supernatural stuff, right? So I'm hoping that they get it all together so they can finally do that part because you have all the pieces. The Mark Spector Moon Knight was brilliant. That series was phenomenal.
And they did nothing with it.
Right. The Werewolf by Night. I thought that you got Elsa Bloodstone, who I
What
loved in the comic books. You had
was
Man
really
Thing. You
good.
introduced Man Thing. You
Hmm.
introduced the Nexus Man Thing. You have all these great. Okay, here's another hot take.
On WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven.
The Guardians of the Galaxy. The way they messed up Adam Warlock is
Yeah,
blasphemous.
yeah, yeah,
Blasphemous.
yeah. He was a big
He,
part in the
yes,
Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
yes.
Huge part.
He should have been the
Huge
one
part.
that was on Thanos' heels.
He should have been the
He should have
one
been.
coming down
Yes.
from the glass
Yes.
instead of Hulk.
Right.
I know they didn't have the silver surfer rights at
Yes.
the time, but he should have been the one breaking through the glass.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that would have made
They had a
sense.
perfect opportunity.
Hmm.
And he has a direct connection to the soul gem. He has a direct connection to the soul gem.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he wore the soul gem. He got it from
Hmm.
the gardener. He wore the soul gem for a long time and then when he died, he ended his consciousness ended up in the soul world, and then he eventually broke out and he wore it. He eventually attained the gauntlet from the second go round after the whole thing with the comic books and everything, but he
Hmm.
was the next one to get the gauntlet, and that created the Infinity Watch. So for those who don't know, the Infinity Watch is a group of people that after the Living Tribunal basically told Adam Warlock, because after he got the Infinity Gauntlet, bro, you can't rock that gauntlet. You're not a cosmic deity. You can't have the gauntlet. So he basically forced him to give out the. And here's the funny part: people don't know. He gave Thanos one of the stones. Thanos was a member of the Infinity Watch. He gave him one of the five stones, the six stones. He gave him one. Or excuse me, the five stones. Oh, the six stones. He gave him one of the six stones. I keep thinking about the seventh stone, the black one that in the comic books later on. But anyway, but you had an opportunity to play that out, but they fumbled Adam Warlock.
Mm. And I felt, this is a second hot take for me. I felt if you would have made a deal with Sony, you could have made a deal with Universal. You could have easily made a deal with Universal. They would have said
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, of course.
They would have instantly
Oh, of
said
course.
yes. And
Of course.
make a little deal with the parks. We can just have Hulk related items only.
Oh,
Like they could have done they could have done something. They could have put their
yes.
pettiness aside, and each company could have made a good bill itself in
Oh,
itself.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Because Hulk is definitely that big character. You could have
Mm-hmm.
done something. You could have had like a branch thing. Same deal as Sony. So
Mm-hmm.
much stuff you could have done with Hulk. You could have had Red Hulk, better version of Red Hulk.
Right.
You could have had a better version of Red Hulk. I love Harrison Ford. I love Harrison Ford to
Yeah.
death, but it could have been a better Red Hulk. You could have had a
Yeah.
good lead. You could leader could have came and been more
Yep.
representation for the leader.
Mm-hmm. We could have
Different
got a
honorable
Doc
version.
Samson in
Doc
there.
Samson. He
Yeah,
was
we
in
could
my
have.
head. I was trying to think of him. I was
Yeah.
stalling time a little bit. But
Right.
Doc Samson could have been good in there. So much stuff you could have done with the whole a World War Hulk movie, which
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
wants. You could have had
Apparently,
that
it's
there.
coming. Well, apparently, we'll see.
Apparently, but
We'll
I
see.
felt if they would have just done something with Universal, hey, you already know what we can do with Sony. Let's talk together for the Hulk and make some money together.
Right. Right. It would have been perfect. I
Nobody would have got hurt.
I even think
Nobody.
I even
Yeah.
think that they fumbled the whole secret invasion thing. The
Oh,
scrolls.
I'm not even talking about
The
that. Oh my
scrolls
God,
are
it
a
was
threat.
horrible. Yeah.
The scrolls are a threat. This was
Yeah.
your opportunity to not only bring the scrolls,
That
but
could have been a
then you got the whole.
saga.
Yes,
A saga.
you had the whole
Yeah.
cosmic invasion thing. You had
Hmm.
the Kree, and because the Kree had already been introduced through Captain Marvel, right?
Right.
They also were introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy, so
Hmm.
they exist. So you had this whole thing where you had this great opportunity to do it the right way, and you
Yeah.
fumbled it. You fumbled it.
Now no one's gonna care if you want to do it again.
Yes. Yeah, the
Because the
whole
last one
that's
was
that's
good.
that's what doomed the Inhumans.
Hmm.
That's what doomed the Inhumans. They had to, for fan service, give us Black Bolt looking the right way for
Hmm.
fan service.
Yeah.
And because he was a member of the original Illuminati, they
Hmm.
had to give it to us because think about the original version of the Illuminati.
Hmm.
Namor, Professor X, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, um, Captain America and Black Panther were the original, but they both quit because they knew it was up to some nonsense. Tony
Hmm.
Stark. You had those members of the Illuminati. You could have put it together the right way. I would like to have seen in Doctor Strange when they showed the Illuminati. They could have got Tom Cruise to play that one role. They got Krasinski to play
Oh,
Mr.
Superior Iron
Fantastic.
Man, definitely.
Yeah,
You could
that
have
would have
done
been
you've been a
dope.
great part of Superior Iron Man.
Yes, that would have been a dope Illuminati. Um, the version of the Illuminati, like I said, I,
And just before we 'cause we got about like a minute and some change left,
mhm.
but I do agree with your part. I felt the second Doctor Strange was such a big fumble.
Yeah,
I just felt the film should have been just called Scarlet Witch.
yeah,
Because if you tell me multiverse, I want you to go into different multiverses. I don't
hmm
want that 30 or 40-second scene where you're just
yeah. Blink, and
go,
we're here, and then blink,
yeah,
we're here.
yeah, I don't like that. I want you to explore different universes, maybe get stuck in one for a little bit
Yeah,
and go for the next one, like really tell me it's a multiverse of madness. Have
dude.
all get incursions everywhere within the real world and you trying to stop that. Like that would have been cool.
When they briefly
Yeah.
showed the Living Tribunal for the first time,
Yeah, it should have been like a
yes,
tease. It should have been like a,
yeah. Oh, what a fumble. What?
you
Hopefully
know,
they'll get it right.
and
Hopefully
they
they'll get it
show
together.
and they showed the Savage Land for a couple
Yeah,
seconds.
yes,
And
yes.
it's like,
Not a
yo,
lot of
come
people
on,
picked up.
man.
Thank you for picking up on
Yeah.
that. Not a lot of people picked up on that,
Like the
but
Savage Land is huge, especially with X-Men. And it
yes.
was like word that you just got the merger. Maybe
Yep.
tease
Yep.
Savage Land a little bit and put some X-Men teasers that you can't
Oh,
do
that would
just
have
yet.
been amazing.
There's a lot of stuff they could have done.
I
So
agree.
much stuff you could have done,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's fan service, it's maybe contracts, I don't know, but have a good direction if you're doing multiverse.
Yes.
I felt my last take is the saga. Everything should have been multiverse related. You not necessarily need Kang for everything,
Mm-hmm.
but everything should have been some multiverse or some time travel,
Agreed.
or I want to point this out there. I may have said it in an earlier episode, but there was this X-Men,
Yeah.
JoJo,
Yeah.
Mojo, or
Yeah. Yeah. Mojo
yeah,
Jojo. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, not Mojo Jojo.
That's it.
Mojo from
Mojo
Mojo World
for
for
Mojo World.
Long shot in there.
I
Yeah.
thought that would have been an
That would have
interesting
been
take
dope.
for multiverse because
That would have
they
been
had
dope.
this thing for a Captain Marvel sequel,
Mhm.
how they would have done it.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, Monica, Miss Marvel could have got instantly transferred to Mojo World.
That would have been dope.
Then you would have had the tension. They all had to work together to get out of there. And
Another
then,
great character that they could have
yeah,
used.
they could have
Yeah.
used it. You could have got like a talk show host to
Mm-hmm.
do like a Jimmy Fallon or a James Corden
Oh,
to
that would have
do
been
like that
great.
voice for it
Yep.
because you could have had like anybody do that game show talk show voice
Yep.
for it. You could have had that in there and you could have introduced different X-Men characters for a little bit, just
Mm-hmm.
fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to make it real character driven
Mm-hmm.
based, that would have been the perfect world, like a fighting stance type of thing.
They could have introduced, remember Arcade,
Yeah,
that X-Men villain?
yeah,
It would have been dope if they had played off of Arcade versus
yeah.
Mojo World because they both do similar stuff. But that would have been a great
That
thing.
would have been a
That
solid sequel for
oh
Captain
my
Marvel.
god,
If you would
yes,
have called it that, the Marvels, and they had no choice but to work together,
that would
even
have
though
been
they hate each other,
dope. Hmm.
especially with Miss Marvel being that annoying teenager wanting
Yeah,
to explore the world and not knowing
yeah,
anything, her hard-headedness, and then Monica and Carol not liking each other. They had
yeah,
no, that would have been a compelling story
yeah, yeah.
instead of the one we got.
Marvel, I hope you're listening. You got to pay attention to us. We're trying to help you out here. We're trying to help you. We believe in you. We're trying to help you.
We believe you. We want all this to succeed in the right way. Like I say, make it like a home cooked meal. Okay?
Yes,
Quality over quantity. That's all
right.
I have to say. Quality over quantity. Hopefully they do that with the next direction of films. Hopefully DC does that with the next direction of their lineup too. We just
So,
want things out for the best on Three Nerds Bending on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, and the OG Bird himself wouldn't be Three Nerds Venting without him. Easy is off with doing other obligations. The OG Bird himself, the superhero without a mask, and the superhero to the ones that truly matter. The one, the only, the professor. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, New Haven.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout?